special one for myself. This is Sonal from 5S Projects, and she's going to tell you a bit more about herself in a little bit. But I've worked with Sonal over multiple projects with clinics and salons, and the work she does has really transformed our clients' lives, but also the way I've done my business as well. So if you're watching this, obviously all of you watching this run either a clinic or a salon, we're really going to go in depth talking about the best way to structure everything of your business, and the best ways once you start your marketing and you start to get more clients, how to really optimize your business systems and processes for growth. So we've got 2 people watching at the moment. More people will join in at the moment. But Sonal, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. It's really good to be here. Yeah, I'm good. Bank holidays, so even better.
100%. So could you let everyone know a bit more about yourself, your business, and kind of like an overall idea of like what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Sonal. I have a business called 5S Projects, and I work with businesses to basically make them more efficient. So it's often the case that if you want to grow, you start looking at marketing, you start looking at how to bring in more clients. But at the end of the day, that's all well and good. But if you don't have processes that are robust enough to support that growth, you'll fall and it will fail at some point. So I work with businesses to make sure that that doesn't happen. So we look at how everything is run day to day. And then I work with them to see where we can improve things, where costs can be cut, where time can be saved, so that they can then focus on the marketing efforts that will bring in those clients, that their business has something to support that growth.
Okay, amazing. That sounds awesome. How did you kind of get into this role with like 5S Projects? What's been your story to get to here?
So I've been working with large blue chip companies for about 20 years now. So every project that I worked on, it was funny because I think with all the big companies, you expect them to have a degree of kind of streamlined process.
Yeah.
And every project I had, they didn't know how their today's world looked or how the business was running. So in every project I've done, they've all been different. My first job would be to understand from front to end, all the steps that are taken to run their business, and then work to kind of bringing in a new system or changing their processes. So I always wanted to work with small businesses as well. So that was always in the back of my head, and I wanted to start my own business before I turned 40. So last year I set it up, and then and it's been brilliant. It's been amazing. It's so nice to work across different industries and bring in what I've learned in the big companies to the small businesses. And I think with the small businesses as well, it's it's the small changes that make such a big difference.
Yeah,
100%. But then it's also that small detail that gets missed. So it's my job to make sure that that's what I identify for them, where they can see the biggest benefit.
Amazing. Yeah, so Sonal's helped some of our clients as well with that kind of structure. Just because as well, like Sonal, as you know, you told me hundreds of times, it's no point doing marketing if you haven't got the back-end systems in place, because what's going to happen, you're going to get busy and overwhelmed. Like one of our clients based in Hertfordshire, right? We were working with them, we were generating them tons of laser hair removal inquiries. But as soon as they got busy, they didn't have the processes in place to kind of actually optimize it. Like they were getting good money, they're making like £5,000 or £6,000 extra a month, but they could have been earning 15, 20,000 if they actually had all them systems. So like what are the number one things you see like most businesses fail with when it comes to like systemization and everything?
I would say the first one is that the business owner is doing a lot of the day-to-day, which I can understand when you're first starting out. But as a business owner, your mind should be focused on where you see your business in, 2 years and 5 years.
Yes.
And in order to get yourself to that point, it's being able to look at where you're spending your time. So even before you start looking at, your processes, it's identifying what tasks are you doing on a day-to-day basis. And as a business owner, what should I actually be focusing on? And just with that, you can actually see the tasks that you need to start streamlining or delegating to make sure that you can focus on what you need to be doing, and you've got the right people in place to focus on, the day-to-day running. The second I would say is, again, I think I touched on it earlier, is all of us as businesses, even me included, the first thing you want to do is, where am I going to get more clients from, and how can I do that? And that's brilliant. But if you're doing everything manually, if you're writing everything in an Excel spreadsheet, if your numbers increase by 100 clients per week, for example, you will not be able to sustain that. So the second point is to actually take a step back and actually spend a bit of time, and now's the perfect time to do it, is to sit down and list out every single step in that process of your customer journey. So I use the example of, I think when I was back at school, and I think a lot of people have had this, the teacher would set you a task of writing all the steps to make a cup of tea. And, you know, the first thing we'd all say was like, will you boil the kettle? And then, you know, the teacher would probe you. It's like, well, what do you do before you boil the kettle? I fill it with water. How do you fill it with water? And it's the same process, but you're just doing it for your business. And that is, you know, it's the crux of everything. If you can do that and you can see how your business runs on a page, it'll show you where you're going wrong. And for me, that's key, is to do that in parallel. Ideally do it before you start anything else, but to make sure that that is your number one priority. The third thing I would say is there's a need or a desire in us to please everyone. And with that comes, you know, offering so many different products, having loads of variations of the same product so that we meet every single person's need. So I'll talk a bit about product ladders in a minute, but it's really important to make sure that you're giving the right value to your target audience. So know who your target audience is and focus on them. Because at the end of the day, if you're offering a treatment and it's got all the bells and whistles, but you're charging a premium price for it, someone may not pay for it because they don't want half the stuff that's being offered. So then you're losing a sale, but you're also wasting your time and money and giving someone something they don't want. So, you know, really hone in on your target market and look at all the products and services you're offering and to see which bits are actually being used by clients, what's in demand, and break that down a little bit further. That will always help. It's just refine your product offering.
Yeah, 100%. That's what we see with every single one of our clients as well. Like when they come to us, they kind of want to push their top products, say like fat freezing cryolipolysis for £2,000. They're like, everyone needs this. And I'm like, great, that's an awesome goal. We can definitely get there. But the majority of people maybe want a taster session first. They want to come in and meet you. They want to try something else first. And if you're just pushing your biggest product which is a good thing to do, right? But it's just choosing the right demographics and customer pools. Just because, especially with online marketing, like the goal of it is to get people who don't know you yet, they don't like you yet, they don't trust you yet, to kind of at least come into your doors. And then from there, you can kind of just push depending on what treatments they want.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the product ladder is. So if you imagine a ladder, you take one step up at a time to get to the top. And what you're doing with the product ladder is actually offering something that you might call entry level. So it could be a brand new client that doesn't know you, and it gives them a bit of a taster as to the experience that you're offering. And if their needs change later on, if their needs become a bit bigger, they go on to the next step, and then you can start pushing that, you know, that next product. And they'll come to you because they've already had treatment with you and they liked what they saw. They liked how they felt afterwards. But to offer all that in one go can be a bit overwhelming, and then it really does push, you know, put people off.
Okay, so like, what's the kind of best way if like clinic owners are watching this now and they kind of have that issue about maybe pricing or product? What's the best way to kind of, because obviously it's a massive thing to do as well.
It's huge. And I would say always start off with what you're doing first. So make sure you've got a full catalogue of everything you're offering. And within each offering, what exactly does that include? So it's a full detailed catalogue in a way of all your services and products. And then the next step is to actually look at competitors and see what they're doing. You know, look at the market and just make sure that you're looking at competitors who have a similar target market to you. Because I think the last thing you want to do is actually, I mean, here we're talking about, you know, making money, but the only way you really make money is by saving money and saving time. And because that time can actually then be spent on your strategy. It can then be spent on growing, you know, your client base. But I would definitely start off with, everything starts off with how things look today. So whether it's the processes or your product catalog, detail everything out and just have a look and see what it looks like. And then you start your research.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, because I think most clinics as well specialize in loads of different things. And I was actually speaking to a clinic owner last week who kind of manages a big team, but also she's like, the business won't run without her. And her problem is kind of like, she's managing everyone, but also she knows that no one can do it as good as her. So for them, that kind of situation, you'd recommend is documenting everything you do. And then is it document it and then kind of delegate it to other people? Or
I would definitely document it. And then, you know, test it through with someone. It could be that you're documenting a process that's actually broken. So document your processes, test it through with someone, and that's where you can highlight where things could be tweaked. But always document. And I know you and me have had those discussions as well. Let's document everything in a way that someone can just pick it up and run with it, because you want your business to run on the days that you're not there. Because otherwise you'll never leave you'll never leave your salon, you'll never have a life. And it might be scary because you think you're losing control, but actually you're gaining control. You're actually gaining control back of your life. You're gaining control of your business, because it allows you to actually focus on overseeing things and looking at your strategy for the next 2-5 years and working towards those other goals. So yes, absolutely document everything. And you can always start with what it looks like today. As you start drawing things out or writing things out, you'll find things that don't sit well with you, and those are the bits you can explore a little bit to see how they can be refined.
Okay, amazing. So with like solo practitioners as well, like I know loads of like clinic owners who want to expand, but like currently say they're like a laser hair removal technician, it's just them. I speak to them and they're like, we're getting all these customers, we want to scale, but what would be, obviously it's a broad question, right? But what would be their next step if they kind of wanted to expand? Like, who do they hire? Do they outsource to like companies like yourself where they take it away? Or because obviously it's a big step, obviously hiring someone as well full time.
Yeah, it really is. And I think if you're a sole practitioner, I would say and if you're not fully systemized already, I would say that'd be the first place to go. You want everything to be streamlined. And I was having a look, actually, there are a few apps out there that where you can, record your clients' treatments. You have calendars that you can set up for different types of treatments with availability, so clients can just book on if they wanted to or contact you. All that manual stuff's taken away from you. And I think as someone that's just like me as well, I'm on my own in the business, it's really important that you can automate those as much as possible. And they don't all cost the earth. Start off and just see what there is out there, and look at your business and see how you want it to grow over the next couple of years. And look at the apps that are out there that can help you. So I think your first important point is that, about doing everything. I think the key thing you need to look for is, how can I move away from doing everything where I don't have anyone to delegate to, and automating it where possible would be my first step. And then the second step would then be, as you can see people coming in, bring someone on board, and that could be, outsourcing the admin. So, not the technical stuff, but just outsourcing the admin, to a VA or to, someone you may know that would be able to come in and help. Because all the appointment management and everything doesn't have to be done in the office itself. It can be done remotely. And as we can see over lockdown, a lot of people have adapted. And I think those changes will actually continue as we move forward. And having someone virtually would cut costs massively, and it will give you that helping hand as well. But having an app like that in place where you can access it on multiple devices enables that real-time flow of information and transparency as well. So I would say those would be the key things. I think the first would be, if you've got any manual processes, look to see how you can, either bring someone on board to automate it, or look to see what's out there that can help you. So things like a client relationship management tool, an appointment scheduler, and ideally something that does all of those in one product would be amazing.
So it doesn't have to be too crazy expensive or crazy scale. You can kind of.
And some of them are free. Yeah, I think so as well. And I think some of them are free. So it depends on what you need at that time. And if you're just starting out and if you're on your own, it can be a bit daunting to get everything, something with all the bells and whistles on it. So then just start slowly. Just have a look and see what that app does. And if it offers you the basics of having real-time appointments, being able to record client entries and appointment updates, then but it has the options of being able to upgrade to additional services as you get bigger, that would be perfect.
100%. Yeah, because I was reading a book last week called Built to Sell. I don't know if you've read it before, but all about this guy's got like an advertising agency and he wants to sell it, or he wants to like expand, but someone comes in from the outside, someone like yourself, and you can kind of see the whole business is either just a solo business or based around him, and nothing else can run without him there. And it's all about just like, he had to document his whole system. And I think the main thing for him was like trusting someone. Like, great, this is my system. I trust someone on the outside. It may not do it as good as me, but I'd rather have a bit more free time, be able to expand and have it done 98% done right and maybe 2%
Yeah.
error, than trying to like
Yeah.
hog everything as well, which in my business as well, we've got a team of 4. And like, I
Yeah.
still sometimes want to hog everything and be like, you got to do it this way. But at the end of the day, like when you give people like freedom, like their IQ level will like skyrocket. Once you say, like, I trust you to do this.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
I've
And
seen with
it's all
my
about
team. Yeah,
trust. Yeah, it's
100%.
definitely all about trust. And also, you know, I think you have to accept that, yeah, if you could clone yourself, that would be amazing. But everyone has their own things to bring to the table. And I think
Yes.
as a business, you have to open yourself up to that. And like you said, you know, it helps them because it gives them the confidence, knowing that you trust them, to actually do more than what you're asking.
Yes, 100%.
So I would definitely say, you know, delegating isn't losing control, it's actually gaining control back. But you know, I've heard a couple of the clients I work with as well just said, oh, you know, but no one's going to do it as well as me. And I think you really have to let go of that mentality and that mindset, because otherwise you'll be the one running your business all the time and you'll never grow, because you're not allowing the business to become what it should be. And you're not letting people help you. And, you know, you bring the right people on board, they'll actually bring more to the table and be able to show you parts of your business that you probably didn't even think of as well. So I would definitely recommend it, but it is a daunting step. Yeah. I think, you know, even if you just trial it out, you know, just try an outsourced VA, for example, with one small task and see how you get on if you're not used to that delegation. And then I think once you get comfortable with it, you'd be able to do the full on bringing on other people or allowing them to do more. But it's definitely the way forward.
Yeah, because even when we're doing like marketing for clients, some clients do their marketing already, or maybe they've tried it and they've had like a bad experience outsourcing it. And like I always say to every single client, like if you went to a restaurant, you had a bad experience, would you never go to restaurants again? And I'm like, of course not. Like I'd always try it. But I think so many people have that mindset, kind of like a limiting belief, right? Where they know they need to do something for their clinic, for their salon, but something's stopping them from growing. And like the clients who like always succeed the best of us are ones who are open-minded and actually take that leap or risk as such, and actually be like, you know what, the worst that can happen is this, which actually when I think about it isn't too bad, but the potential of outsourcing my marketing is massive, because I could actually free 2 hours a day from doing social media, or 2 hours a day doing my email or admin or whatever the task could be. And what could I use that to actually be like working on my business, not in the business?
Exactly that. And also you bring in people who know what they're doing. So, you know, at the end of the day, if you're a business owner doing everything, you're going to be jack of all trades and master of none. If you bring on someone that focuses on admin or focuses on marketing, you're allowing the people that can skyrocket your business to come on board and actually do that for your business as well.
100%. Everyone watching as well, if you're watching this, comment #live. And if you have any questions, just pop them below in the comment box. And at the end, maybe in 5-10 minutes, we'll answer them, because someone's got a wealth of knowledge, over 20 years experience working with businesses, actually systemizing it. So Sonal, what like services do you offer, or what do you think would be the most valuable for anyone watching this who's like, I need help? What would be kind of the next steps with that?
So I think for me, it's always important to have fresh eyes on your business. So you pointed that out earlier as well. So we offer a processed health check. So it's sitting down and understanding and actually helping you. I would draw out your business to show you what it looks like on a page and to show each step that's involved. And it's all color coded. So you can also see, you know, the red boxes denote something that's causing a bottleneck or causing a pain in your business.
Sure.
So it really highlights where there might be too many people doing one task, or one task isn't being done. And I think that is really important, and it really empowers the business to actually show what can be changed. So that comes with a list of recommendations as well. So I'd also recommend the next steps to make that task easier to do, to bring back more time and to get rid of that pain. The second one is the product ladders and the pricing. So it can be quite daunting to kind of go out and see what competitors are doing and look at their pricing, and look at what everyone else is doing in the market. But that's something that we do as well. I think it's really important for any business to know what the market is like at the moment, and to see what types of services are there, because at the end of the day, you're competing against that. And you want to make sure that whatever unique experience you're providing a customer is also showing through. And I think sometimes we can be so involved in just doing a list of services that we're not actually highlighting the experience that someone gets from being with you.
Yeah.
And then that also leads on to the product ladders. You could start looking at, I've got this amazing package that does everything, but no one's buying it. And then it's a case of analyzing that, looking at that and seeing how we can break it down based on who you're targeting. So it's creating those product ladders for you and trying to set the right prices as well based on the market research.
Which is going to be the key before you even spend a penny on advertising, right?
Absolutely.
There's no point doing advertising if you haven't got this in place.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though you may get results, it's kind of going to be super, super limited.
Yeah.
And that's why we've brought you in for our clients to kind of shake them about a bit and it's actually get that information out of them. Whereas when like you chat with clients, or you've had it as well, like they know what they want, but it's hard to actually get that out of them and actually write down what. So Sonal is kind of perfect if you're watching and like, you've got all these services, you've got all these products that you want to push, but you've no idea where to begin. Like I'd highly, highly recommend Sonal. Just have a chat with her. Like what's the best way to kind of get in contact with you, Sonal, or kind of chat further about everything that we've spoken about today?
Yeah, so I'll drop my email address in the group and a link to my details. And like I think Richard, like we were speaking about, I'll always reiterate that it's so important to know your business inside out as it runs today, because everything else follows. And I think with things like marketing and doing that, they run in parallel. So any type of task that you do to change your processes will actually support the work that you do, for example, because it's actually supporting the increase of leads that you're bringing a client. The business can then actually support that, and you don't feel that pain, you don't feel that pinch of I'm getting less time because I'm getting more clients. It should be that seamless. So definitely whatever you do, just start by looking at today's world and how your business looks, and now's the best time to do it. With lockdown, it's time to focus a little bit. And it's not the most glamorous and it's not the most glamorous task. I think that's why no business does it. I've not seen one business that I've seen, probably a couple that actually do. That's the first thing they do. But it's the one thing that everyone then starts to look at when something goes wrong. So the important thing is to get ahead of the curve and do it now, and keep updating it, or just keep checking back to it every few months. But that's what I'm there to help with as well. We do regular reviews as well for businesses, and I think the advantage that they find of having someone external to the business is I ask a shed load of questions that they probably haven't thought of because they're in the business all the time. So it opens your mind up to what can be done, and the changes don't cost the earth either. It can be the really tiny things, but it is really important to kind of get that image or that vision of how your business runs in place first.
100%. Well, thank you so much, Sonal, for popping on.
Thank you so much.
25 minutes of pure value. So if anyone's watching this, probably most people are sunbathing on bank holiday, right? So hopefully social distancing. As soon as this is over, we'll be running out. But if you comment below any questions you have, Sonal is part of the group as well. So if you're watching this on replay, just comment #replay, and Sonal will pop on the comments, add as much value, answer any questions as well. But thank you so much, Sonal, for popping on today. Really appreciate everything you've done.
It's been great.
I'll link Sonal's information below as well, guys. But thank you for everyone watching. Have an incredible Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. And we'll be going live again next week on Monday at 1 o'clock, talking about how to actually generate consultations online without actually having to do anything manually. It's all autopilot. So watch out for that one and have an incredible day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Bye, everyone. Thanks.